What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of FTB Infinity Evolved Expert Mode. Oh yeah, guys. So here in the base, I've been working on some stuff. Yeah, we had like an extra day where there was no upload because YouTube messed up the previous episode, going out to the subscriber feeds or whatever. So yep, I had a day where I was just kind of doing stuff around the base that I wanted to get done. So I was making up a bunch of the machine frame, the resonant versions, and our one set of lasers that we had up here, you know, it can craft those. We've seen it before, and I've crafted up like 10 overnight, but it's still kind of slow. I wanted to craft up a stack of them, and I had that going, and I was watching the progress as it slowly made one of them. I was like, all right, we got to increase the amount of lasers we have. So yeah, I tripled the amount of lasers. I put in another row here, and then I put in these redstone energy flux ducts, and those are connected right here. The flux duct that's running up to the top ones goes up the wall right here. So yeah, these are connected right to that same wall through the thermodynamics facade right there. And then yeah, I have another layer right here using the same redstone energy flux duct. And then down below, let's see, can I break that? Yeah, I think we're fine. Yeah, that's all being powered from this one tesseract. So as we make stuff here, the assembly table puts it into the tesseract, and the tesseract is also providing the power. So the way that's all hooked up is we have these cryo-stabilized flux ducts coming directly off that tesseract. This can transfer unlimited RF, but yeah, these redstone energy flux ducts are limited per connection. So I have one connection here, and then a third connection right there. So yeah, we are able to transfer a lot of power through this, and then that goes up above like we've seen. Cool. I'm not sure if I'm happy with the sandwiched look of these lasers. I might end up moving these, so like this layer of lasers is up against this wall, and then I guess the second layer of the lasers are up against that wall or something. I don't know. I haven't fully decided what I wanted to do yet. I was almost thinking it might be kind of cool if we use like the advanced drawbridges and we can retract and set out these lasers when we need to use them. I don't know if that's a possibility. I haven't really like tried messing around with that. I was just thinking that'd be kind of cool if they were retractable. But anyway, that's all set up. I was working on the magic area. Let's come over here. I spent a lot of time over here actually, guys. Yeah, previously when we came down this hole, the wall was like right next to us, right? So yeah, I've had to move this wall back quite far and put in more of the flooring. In fact, I still need to replace some of these blocks with more of the flooring since I have to keep pushing this wall back. But yeah, I was trying to set up the blood magic area down below, and trying to set up one of these large multi-block structures is such a pain, and then trying to like position it and get it just right. So anyway, we got the first one set up just right. I just have it outlined with regular stone showing where all of the blood runes are gonna be, so we can have this as a tier 6. Yeah, I just kind of mocked up all the different blocks using like purple glowstone and redstone blocks. Those are the incorrect blocks, but yeah, I just wanted to lay this out in such a way so I could see how this is going to work. So yeah, I laid out all the multi-blocks, and I was like, okay, I probably want to have a way where we can just walk directly up the blood altar. So I put in these carpenter wedge slopes. And yeah, I wanted to have like 3 blocks of walking space and all of this stuff. So I finally figured out the correct dimensions for placing one of these, and then we duplicated it. But unfortunately, this room was too small. I think the wall came to about right here. So yeah, I had to expand this wall out further, laid out the second one. Like I said before, we want 2 of these, one for doing our crafting and one for automatically filling up our LP network. So that's why we have 2 of those. But yeah, that's taking up quite a lot of room. And then also, I had to lower the floor. Before, the floor was at this level right here, and that made the blood altars, I think the glowstone, this part right here, was touching the ceiling, and that just felt really claustrophobic. So yeah, I also lowered the floor quite a bit. Yeah, so this is what we're looking like right now for the blood magic area. Like I said previously, we will be looking at replacing the laboratory blocks that I have here with whatever the proper blocks are we're going to use eventually. But yeah, I just wanted to have something to like mark out what the room, the shape, and all this stuff is going to feel like when we're all done. So yeah, blood magic's down here, and then I started running some more cables. Yeah, we have green and lime. So we'll eventually have 32 channels for like our blood magic or our Thaumcraft area, whatever else is going to be down here. And then this one right here will go upstairs to our Well, we have witchery stuff up there now. I need to get like elevator blocks in here. Going up and down is really annoying through this one little hole. Yeah, we have like witchery stuff set up over here. I don't know how big this area needs to be for witchery. We might even need to put in another floor. I know that witchery can do like these crazy circle things, like these spells or whatever, rituals. I don't know how many of those we need. Like I said, I've never really used this mod before. So yeah, I just set up our witch's oven and I put a few fume funnels on this thing so it can connect, or I can collect the fumes that much easier. But yeah, I haven't really done much else. Thaumcraft stuff will probably be sticking over on this side. We need to get the infusion altar and all this stuff hooked up eventually. But I think for today, guys, I think we're going to work on something else. We've been trying to work towards getting the creative energy cell. Let me through. Oh, you know what? There. Much faster. Maybe I should just put some warps over there on the magic side. Anyway, we've been trying to work towards making the creative energy cells. So let's take a look at this. I want to really get going on this stuff. So we need a lot of this enhanced Galgadorian metal, right? So that is 9 of these ingots, and each of those ingots are really expensive. You need the large lump of Galgador, which is 9 of these, and diamond block goes into like 2 of those. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. And then all the stabilized metal, iron and refined iron and all this stuff, obsidian, more diamonds, lots of stuff goes into there. So we need to get, I think, actually, let's double check. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Yeah, we need 28 blocks. All right, so if we try and make the enhanced Galgadorian metal 28 blocks worth, this says that we are out of mushrooms. We need this for the spider eyes. We're out of sugar. Yeah, we need that for whatever. And we need a lot of diamonds. So there's a lot of stuff that we need in order to do this. Also, magma creams. So we have the spawner set up for the magma cubes, but it looked like the one mob grinder we had was not enough. It could not keep up with the magma cube, since like if the big one spawns, when that dies, it can split up into 4 of the medium size. And when those die, it can split into 4 of the small size. So it's like making a lot of mobs really quickly. So I think the first thing we need to do, let's make ourselves 2 new mob grinders. And then we will start producing magma cubes all the time until we have a ridiculous amount of the magma cream. So we need mana dust, the pellets RTG fuel, a draconium block, and a sword of the wyvern, which is etheric sword, emerald ore, wyvern cores, all this stuff, more draconium blocks, and wyvern energy core. Yeah. All right, so let me go ahead and make 2 of these. We will hook those up, see how that does as far as the magma cubes go, and then we will continue on. All right, cool. So we got 3 of these mob grinders now installed. So let's go ahead and turn on our magma cubes. Is it this one? I haven't tried this since I put the wisp spawner in there. Hopefully that doesn't affect the spawn rates or anything like that. Yeah, I'm curious to see if we're going to get backups like we had before. I don't think we will, since we'll be able to kill these things 3 times faster. But yeah, let's just go ahead and watch this for a moment just to make sure everything is dying and we're not getting a crazy buildup of mobs. Yeah, it looks like that's going pretty good. So I should be able to leave this running now, which is awesome. Yeah, there's some big boys. Okay, that's what I wanted to see, is a large amount of those in there. Okay, yeah, I think we're good. Okay, and I believe we could also add in more, like 3 more if we really, really needed to. We might eventually, but for right now, I think we're going to be good. So let's head back. So as I was making the mob grinder, this thing right here, I wanted to make the etheric sword, so I went to go craft it using the stable ingots, and that creates something completely wrong. That's not what we were looking for. So I ended up having to make the little nuggets, the semi-stable nuggets, and then form that into the stable ingots, and then create the sword that way, which is way more expensive, but you know, I got the job done. So that's just something to be aware of. I didn't realize this at first, and I crafted one of these, so we now have one. I didn't even see what this thing looks like. Oh, that looks kind of cool. It's like a samurai sword kind of a thing. Ah, that's awesome. Cool. Anyway, this thing says that it has divine damage, armor piercing damage, and 7 attack damage. So that sounds pretty awesome. But you know, our staff of power here has plus 80 attack damage, so it's way better. But anyway, that's kind of a neat thing. So our mob grinder situation is under control. Let's look at the magma cubes. Are we not getting any magma cream? Oh yeah, there we go. Man, those are not coming in very fast, are they? I was expecting us to see those coming in a little bit faster. All right, well, that's just something we're going to have to let run over time, because when we did the, what was it? The Galgadorian metal, we needed 28 blocks of this stuff. How much did we need? 13,000 of those. Yeah, so we'll just let that go. Eventually, over time, we'll create that amount. Cool. So anyway, let's move on to another portion of this. So we were looking at getting more sugarcane and getting more brown mushrooms. Both of those we can set up over at Wellington Towers. We haven't been there for quite some time. Let's head over there for a moment. So this was our original mass power supply. We had a thing for red mushrooms, a thing for the soybeans, the spinach, and the wheat. Yeah, I had this all turned off at the moment because in the latest update, there was a problem. Yeah, unfortunately, the way this works now is the soybean produces silken tofu, and then the silken tofu makes both soy milk and the firm tofu or something like that. Anyway, it's not quite the same because before we would press the soybeans and we would get the milk, and then the milk we would press to get the silken, and then the silken we would press to get the firm. And it's not that way anymore. So anyway, I had this thing turned off since it wasn't working. I don't know if we're going to mess around with this too much as far as the actual beef Wellingtons go. But yeah, we were able to craft up to about 3.5 million of them. So we have quite a lot of these things stored up. So that's pretty awesome. So what I was thinking is we would just stack up 2 more floors. We'll have one for the brown mushrooms, which we probably should have done in the very beginning instead of the red ones, but whatever. So we'll stack another floor, we'll do the brown mushrooms, and we'll do one more floor on top of that, and we will do the sugarcane, since we need both of those in pretty large quantities. And then instead of sending those items down below like we are doing here, we will just send those directly back to the base on a tesseract. Cool. So let me get to work. We need to, do a lot of building here to get this all done. I need to get some more of this darkened glass and get a lot of the cuttings and all of this stuff. I don't remember if I have the sugarcane seeds 10, 10, 10. Let's take a look real quick. Sugarcane, these right here. Oh, I did. Okay, yeah, I did do this at one point. So we got 10, 10, 10 of those, and we got the 10, 10, 10 of the brown mushrooms. So it's just a matter of laying out all the stuff, getting all the sticks there, and yeah. Anyway, I got lots of stuff ahead. Let me go ahead and get to that, and we'll be back, guys. And a short time later, we're done. Yeah, so we got a full row of the 10, 10, 10 brown mushrooms in here, finally. I replaced the dark glass along the outside instead of having that weird thing that was just completely enclosed the red mushrooms. Yeah, we have it along the very edge now. I think that makes it look a little bit better. And then on the very top here, we have the sugar cane. And yeah, I saw that we were missing one spot right here. So let's fix that. Boop. All right, there we go. So the sugar cane should be all full. I was looking at the brown mushrooms. It looks like that's all full as well. This one, wait, where is it? I lost it. This one right here is growing pretty slowly for some reason. But yeah, there is a sugar cane there. So yeah, we have a full thing of sugar cane, full thing of the brown mushrooms now. The way this works, though, the brown mushrooms need complete darkness. Well, I think below light 7, light level 7 or whatever. And yeah, so I can't run that power wire up here. Otherwise, we're going to let light through. So I put a tesseract here. We're doing a different power supply for this very top one. And the same thing with that fluid duct. We can't run that down or that'll let the light through. So just put a trash can, a fluid trash can here. Our harvester has the emerald upgrade in it, and I think we should be good to go. Yeah, the tesseract is set to receive power and send items. And this one right here, we are sending the items as well. Again, I can't connect it, otherwise we're going to let light through, and that's just not good. So I think we should be good to go to get this rolling here. We just need to flip the little lever, and we should start harvesting all the mushrooms. We'll need to do the same thing for the sugar cane, and then we can leave the lag fest Yeah, we can just leave the lag fest and head back to the base and not have to worry about this ever again. It looks like it is harvesting everything just fine. Great. Yeah, we'll revisit the beef Wellington and the firm tofu later, maybe. I don't know if we need to at this point. We're pretty much not using this power supply anymore, and we haven't been for a while. So if we ever need to revisit it, yeah, we'll have to rework all of the pressers and stuff the way Pam's Harvest Craft has changed. But yeah, let's go ahead and work on something else, guys. All right, guys, cool. So we have the magma creams under control. We have the sugar and the mushrooms under control. There's a few more things that we need to start working on in order to get to these creative energy cells. So the next thing I would like to work on is getting these quantum solar panels. Now, we've been making a lot of these ultimate hybrids, which are used in the recipe. We're currently using these to produce UU matter using our mass fabricator and all of this stuff. The thing is, all of these things require a lot of the Iridium Reinforced Plates and the Cenarium and all of this stuff. So basically, we need to make a lot of the Iridium. So the way we're doing it right now is okay. Let's go take a look at our quarry area. Not this one, it is this one, dimension 4. All right, so down here, yeah, we have all of our recyclers set up. I did start increasing the amount of cobblestone being produced, so these things are constantly being full right now. And in fact, we are making more cobblestone than what we can actually use at the moment, just because our power isn't high enough for everything. But anyway, yeah, our power is mostly being used for a mass fabricator to generate UU matter and to power these recyclers. And yeah, the rest of the power is going to our replicator to actually use the UU matter and produce these Iridium Reinforced Plates at the moment. So it is coming in decently quickly, but if we could get rid of the fact that we have to produce the UU matter, which means we could get rid of our mass fabricator and all of these machines, yeah, all of this stuff, we could get rid of this, all of the power could go directly to our replicator and we could produce things much faster. That's what I want to do. So in order for us to do that, we are going to need an RF tools dimension full of UU matter. That is the next thing I would like to work on. So a while ago, I set up a drum here to store 128 buckets worth of UU matter. Yeah, this thing's been sitting here for a very long time. It's time to put it to use. So we need to get this stuff out into the world. I don't think you can bucket it. Let's see if we can. I'm pretty sure you can't, but it's been a long time since I have tried this, so we'll do that. Yeah, I can't even click on it with a bucket, so we cannot use a bucket. But I do believe we can use the floodgate that we used for our, what was that? The big reactor? Yeah. We use this to put in all of like the Enderium and stuff into that. Cool. So we can use this to put this out into the world, and then we can use the liquid absorber, this thing right here, to suck it up, and then we can use this to create ourselves a UU matter DIMLET. So this is what we're gonna do. Let's go and make the machine frame, and I think we should have everything. There we go, liquid absorber, cool. So now we need a spot. Quite clear glass. Yeah, let's grab some of this stuff. We need a spot for our floodgate to put the UU matter out into the world, and then we can start sucking that into the liquid absorber. So let's see, that's like a 3x3. That should be fine. We'll do something along these lines. Yeah, where's my builder's wand? Not there. I don't even have, there it is. Builder's wand, found it, took me a second. All right, so we'll bring this up a few blocks. Actually, I think that might be too much. I think the liquid absorber only works like if it's touching the block or if it's like right next to it. So I think what we want to do is, yeah, I think we are going to put the floodgate right in the center here. I think we're going to do that. So the floodgate can put the liquid directly below it or at the same level as it. I don't think it puts it above it. So as long as this thing can fill, I think we're gonna be fine. So let's go ahead and clear out this extra layer of glass here. Cool, all right, so let's grab, we'll grab some of our liquid translocators. Like so, we'll put our drum right there, and our other liquid translocator right there. Cool, and all we gotta do is press that little button and it should start filling out here. Nice. All right, so let's grab the liquid absorber. I think you put it right like that. Yeah, it seems to be working. It doesn't appear to be collecting the UU matter over on this side, but that's fine. It'll fill up this little oh no, I guess it did eventually collect that. Yeah, once it fills up 100%, this thing should be empty, and then we can look at making the UU matter DIMLET and creating a UU matter world. Awesome, so let's wait for this to happen, and we'll be back, guys. So unfortunately, this thing right here, it doesn't see the flowing liquid and it can find the source block. So we have to keep moving this around till it finds that last source block, which I think is right there. Maybe, unless it's in the corner. Oh, you know what? There might be one in each corner. All right, let's try putting this right there. And right there. Cool. So this is now 100%. Now there was a partial bucket. I'm not sure if that's still stored in this floodgate or not. Let's see, can we... Nope, it's gone. All right, so the partial bucket does get deleted. All right, so I wasn't sure how that worked. So we do have 100% absorbed on this thing finally, which is awesome. So we can get rid of that UU matter drum for good. We don't need that anymore. All right, let's clean the rest of this up real quick. Nice. All right, so now the next thing is we need to get ourselves a rarity 6 liquid DIMLET, because if we search for the DIMLET here, yeah, we can see that's a rarity 6. So the parts that we need is from a rarity 6. So rarity 6, yeah, we have one remaining. This is our final one. This is a gold DIMLET, which we don't really need or care about. So over here we have a bunch of different parts remaining. Yeah, we have a liquid controller, the advanced energy. All right, so let's go ahead and take this apart. I guess we need the DIMLET base part. There we go. All right. And there. All right, so we have the liquid absorbed that's full of UU matter, and here is a liquid UU matter DIMLET. Awesome. Okay, so we have that all done. So the next thing is we need to basically copy our world that we did for the plutonium. All right, guys, well, I was about to start making a bunch of these dimension builders and stick it back here so we could have all of our dimensions that we are currently using being powered all of the time. But then I remembered, well, I guess I looked at the recipe I had forgotten. Yeah, it requires a lot of this awakened stuff to make the dimension builders. So yeah, once we get to the point where we are mass producing this awakened draconium, yeah, we might look at making more than one dimension builder. But for now, nope, we're just gonna stick with the one that we have. So we're going to unpower our quarry dimension to power up the new dimension that we are about to build. So I have an empty dimension tab here, and we're gonna do material default, liquid UU matter, terrain normal, controller single, biome ocean, sky normal day, sky normal night, sky normal fog, sky body none, mob default, effect none, feature none, and finally structure none. So this should be pretty much exactly the same thing as the plutonium. I can't remember if I made the plutonium always daytime. Doesn't really matter. If it's always an ocean and at the bottom of the ocean is bedrock, we don't care if mobs spawn or not, except for the main platform where we spawn in, and one torch will fix that. So I think we should be good to go. So we're going to call this UUM, and I don't know what dim this is going to be. It's probably going to be dim 8, because 7 I believe is a twilight. But anyway, we'll just call this UUM. All right, so this is going to cost 150,000 RF per tick to maintain it, and it's going to cost 255,000 RF per tick to create it. Now, actually, before we get going on this, oh, fun, it's rainy. People had asked how much power we have in our thing so far. We are at 1.5 trillion RF, which should be about 75% full. Let's look at our computer. 71%, 71.8% full. Yeah, so we have a lot of power on tap for this kind of a thing. By the way, people are asking if I can upload this to Pastebin or whatever. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that if you guys are interested in this program. Check the description below. I should have a link for you there so you can see how to hook up Computer Craft to Draconic Evolution for the Energy Pylon. All right, so now that we have our dimension, we need to hook it up over here and see how long this is going to take to create. It's probably going to take a minute. And did this say what? Oh, it hasn't started making the dimension yet, so we don't know the name of it. Yeah, I guess we got to wait until this thing is fully processed. All right, how long is this going to take? It's going to take a minute, I think. I think we can speed this up by putting the flux ducts into multiple sides. I seem to remember that from previously. Let's see if we can do that. If we can speed this thing up any by attaching multiple sides. I kind of remember that it was like limited to 40,000 RF per tick per side from before. Is that going faster? It might be going faster. I don't know. This thing is definitely filling up with power now, though, that's for sure. All right, cool. Well, let's wait for this thing to fully turn into a dimension, and we will check out a UU matter dimension. All right, guys. Well, the dimension finished building, and I'm noticing that it seems like to maintain the dimension, we have to put more power into our world builder. Was it dimension builder? Yeah, when we were creating the dimension, this bar stayed full with, what was it, like the 3 connections, the one in the front, the one in the back, and the one underneath. But yeah, without, or while the dimension is built, without these extra connections, it's like this bar can't maintain the amount of power that we need. This keeps dropping down. Well, now it seems to be staying steady. I don't know. But anyway, it wasn't staying completely full until I had these other connections on, and then it was, you know, maintaining the power. Just for safety, we're going to have all these extra connections for now. Pretty much what we want to do is go to the UU Matter world and suck out a Bedrockium's drum worth of stuff, and then we can unpower this and then move on. Yeah, so I was going to make more than one dimension builder. That's why I have this back here. And then I looked at the recipe. And realized, yeah, it requires a lot more weakened draconium and then all these draconic flux capacitors. And I was like, we might do this later when we start mass producing the awakened draconium, which we are going to have to do at some point coming up soon. So we'll worry about that at that point. And then when we have extra dimension builders, we can just stick them back here in the wall and keep a few other dimensions loaded at the same time. So yeah, that's the idea with that. So I think we should be good to go if we say dial from home to the UU Matter. Looks like everything's fine. We have our phased field generator on us. This thing is set to, oh, hotbar and held item. That's not good. There we go. This should be set to charge armor and hotbar. So anywhere this is on my hotbar, this should stay charged in case something happens with the power. I think we should be fine. I'm hoping so. All right, so we have the Ender Quarry pump upgrade, the Speed 3 upgrade, Bedrockium drums, ender markers, angel blocks, and a place to build out so we can stand somewhere. I assume we're going to spawn underground or under liquid like we did previously. No, we are on the surface this time. Okay. Yeah, before in the plutonium dimension, we spawned in like one of these houses or something, but it was like under the ocean here. Yeah, this is different too, because in the plutonium dimension, this went all the way down to bedrock. I can see the bottom here. It's not that far down. Huh. Okay, well, that should be fine. All right, so then first thing we need to do is get the quarries set up. Oh, I forgot a tesseract. That's a piece I forgot. Yeah, we'll get the quarries set up. We'll just start quarrying out like a big portion of the ocean here. We'll set up the Bedrockium drum to slurp up all the liquid, and I guess we'll send all the material back home to the base. Maybe I'll grab the Silk Touch upgrade for the Ender Quarry as well. But yeah, let me do some things here, and we'll be right back, guys. Okay, I think we should have everything set. We have Ender markers set up here, and they are going out, I don't know, about 150 this way, about 150 that way. We have our Silk Touch upgrade. We have our Speed 3 upgrade, our Ender Quarry pump upgrade. Down below, we have a Tesseract set to send only on items and receive only on power. And then above, we have a Bedrockium drum where we should be storing all of the UU matter that we're going to be collecting. Cool. All right, so let us put that down, click it. And how fast are we collecting UU matter? Oh my goodness, guys. This is so ridiculous. I love it. 200 buckets, we got it already. That is so much faster than trying to deal with making the UU matter through the mass fabricator. And it's also way more power efficient. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and let this thing fill up full of the UU matter. And then we'll take it over to our quarry dimension and start working on that. Eventually, I'd like to have multiple world, or I guess dimension builders or whatever active, so we can have this world going and our quarry world going at the same time. Otherwise, yeah, we can't. We have to shuffle back and forth. So yeah, this has already collected about 1.5 thousand buckets of UU matter. This is so good, guys. All right, so I tell you what, we're going to go and wrap the episode up here for today. this feels good getting this done. Yeah, well, we're at the episode up here for today. I'm going to start doing some stuff off camera, trying to process a lot of this UU matter into this Iridium Reinforced Plates. We are well on our way to getting to the creative items. We aren't there yet, but yep, we are definitely making progress. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.